What's up, Music Geeks? My name is OMGWTFLOLFTWBRB, and welcome to Suprocker Saturday. If you are unfamiliar with Suprocker Saturday is, well, it is the one day of the week that we choose to play any game that we want to play, such as the ongoing series that we've been doing for quite some time now, the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 playthroughs. Last time we completed with a Capcom character, so as normal we're going to be completing it with a Marvel character this time, and it's going to be kind of a space team, as I'll say. As you see, I highlighted Rocket Raccoon for a while there, and I chose Log Trap. And I'm gonna have Nova from the Nova Chords on here, and last but not least, we're gonna have Super Scroll. And I screwed up on the wrong one, as you saw. I tried to make a match as best as I can. I think I did good. I went with Tenderizer, and with Nova I had Gravimetric Blaster, and I did pretty well with this team. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I did really well with them, but you know, as an ongoing thing that I like to do during these recordings is give you information on the character that we end up beating Galactus with, and that time, or this time around, it's going to be Nova. So as you watch me play Rocket Raccoon, just know that I ended up beating this game with Nova, which you'll see later. So Nova, there's two different Novas. I'll go into not detail, but I'll explain, or I guess mention the second Nova here. But the Nova in this game is Richard Rider, and he's a comic book superhero in the Marvel Comics universe. Duh. And upon becoming a member of the intergalactic police force known as the Nova Corps, he gains superpowers including enhanced strength, flight, and resistance to injury. He also wears a specialized uniform with life support. He debuted in He debuted in Nova #1 on September 1996, and he was created by Marv Wolfman and Len. Wow, they definitely credit two different people. I had it written down and it said it was created by Marv Wolfman and John Buscema, but also I guess Len Wein created him. I'm going to read this word by word, that way I don't confuse myself. The character was created by Marv Wolfman and Len Wein in the fanzine Super Adventures in 1966. Oh, okay. 7 years later, John Romita Sr. tweaked the design of the character's uniform. Nova debuted in Nova #1 in 1976, written by Wolfman and drawn by John Buscema. Wolfman intended the teenage character to be a homage to Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's Spider-Man, down to his humble working-class roots and an alternative alter ego. The original Nova series, The Man Called Nova, lasted 25 issues from September 1976 to May 1979. Dangling plot lines were resolved in issues 206 to 214. 206 to 214 of Fantastic Four, also by Wolfman, and issue number 24 of Rom the Space Knight. The character then disappeared into obscurity until returning as a member of the original New Warriors team in New Warriors Volume 1, number 1 through 75, annual number 1 through number 4, and that was between July 1990 to September 1996. Following two subsequent Nova titles, Nova Volume number 2, number 1 through 18, that was between January 94 and June 95, and Nova the Human Rocket Volume 3, number 1 through 7, May through November of the year 1999. Nova would return into New Warriors Volume 2, 0210 in October 1999 to July 2000, and New Warriors Volume number 3, 1 through 6 from July 2005 to December 2005. After 4 issue miniseries entitled I can never pronounce this damn word right. Annihilation, fuck that word. Nova and a leading role in the Annihilation, that's how it is. Annihilation, number 1 through 6, a 4th volume of Nova ran for 36 issues, going from April 2007 to April 2010. The series tied to Annihilation, Conquest, Secret Invasion, and War of Kings. Dangling plot threads were addressed in the Thanos Imperative, a 6-issue miniseries with the 2 bookend one-shots in May 2010 to February 2011. Nova appeared as a member of the Secret Avengers during his first 4 issues from May to August 2010. Richard Rider is a student at the fictional Harry S. Truman High School in Hempstead, New York. Is chosen at random by an alien Romanian day last surviving Nova Centurion on the planet Xandar's elite Nova Corps, to inherit his powers and succeed him in the rank of Nova Prime following the destruction of his world by the intergalactic pirate Zord. Having been mortally wounded in battle that tore Xandar apart, Day succeeds in tracking Zord to Earth, but is unable to defeat him due to the extent of his injuries. Near death. Day chooses to transfer his powers to an unsuspecting human on the planet below, praying that whomever he finds will take up his cause. Ryder gains the uniform and powers of the Centurion, but little instruction on how to use these powers. Overjoyed, Ryder eagerly takes up the life of a superhero, fighting costume supervillains in New York and gradually learning how to control his new abilities. Calling himself Nova, he makes arch enemies out of street-level thugs and cosmic-level threats alike, fighting villains such as Condor and Powerhouse, Diamond Head, the Corruptor, and the Sphinx. Nova also teams with Spider-Man to capture Photon, who had killed Richard Ryder's uncle Ralph Ryder, before ultimately choosing to reveal his secret identity to his family. Ryder eventually discovers Day's Nova Prime spaceship in orbit of Earth, and Dr. Sun and Sphinx lead Ryder across the stars to a newly reconstructed planet Xandar, the same world where his great powers originated. Traveling with them as well are Powerhouse, Comet, and Crimebuster, engaged in a bitter war against the Skrulls, and the Xandarians form the champions of Xandar, pressing Ryder's service, protecting their territories from attack. Nova and the champions of Xandar fight alongside Rom the Space Knight to eventually defeat the Skrulls, though Xandar itself is left nearly defenseless in the aftermath. Tiring of life so far from home and hoping to rejoin his high school friends, Ryder requests to be released from his duties of Xandar and return to Earth. When he is told he must relinquish his powers in order to do so, Ryder reluctantly agrees. Nova derives his powers from an energy source called the Nova Force, which all Nova Corps Centurions wield. This energy was transferred by Xandarin technology to Ryder by the Nova Centurion, Romanian Day. Nova's small measure of the Nova Force gives him superhuman powers, including superhuman strength, speed, and durability, as well as the power to absorb energy directed against him and release it as a gravimetric pulses and beams, either from specific parts of his body or from his entire body. Nova is a good hand-to-hand combatant and has been coached by Cord. Nova wears a standard Xandarian Star Corps uniform designed to accommodate his powers without being damaged by them. The uniform is highly resistant to damage, including outer space conditions, and is airtight. In addition, the uniform has a built-in life support function that can sustain Ryder under the most extreme environmental conditions, including acting as a life support, suitably locking off the mouth and eyes of his helmet. The helmet contains a telescopic sight, night vision sensors and heat imaging sensors, as well as a visual heads-up display for tracking energy signatures. Nova's helmet has a rigid construction and shape when worn, but becomes as malleable as cloth when it's not, allowing Ryder to hide it in his civilian clothes when inside. Nova's uniform is not only extremely malleable, it's also designed with specific weapons and functions to aid Ryder in his role as a Nova Corps Centurion. Among these features is an electromagnetic discharge that can nullify gravity and access the stargates that allow him to enter hyperspace when he can move at velocities exceeding the speed of light. Ryder can also alter the appearance and nature of his uniform to suit his needs. However, as Ryder learns the hard way, the Star Corps keeps a strict dress code. When he makes a major cosmetic change to his uniform after rejoining the New Warriors, Nova is summarily ordered to conform to standard. During Annihilation, Ryder's uniform is altered to enhance the House of Xandarian World Mind, as well as the entire Nova Force, which was previously used by all members of the Nova Corps. With the Worldwide and Nova Force, Ryder possesses tremendously augmented strength and durability, as well as nearly limitless quantity of energy. The World Mind consists of the entire culture of history of Xandar, as well as the individual minds of thousands of years of dead Xandarians. The conscious voice of the World Mind can speak directly to Ryder, helping him control the Nova Force, fight enemies, sense energy interface with electronics, and protect against psionic abilities. The World Mind can also assume direct control of Ryder's body when he is asleep. IGN ranked Nova as the 98th greatest comic book character, calling Nova a blend of Spider-Man and the Green Lantern. They also stated that Nova's experience experience a growth into maturity, though the Annihilation Wave storyline where Nova embraces destiny as a premier defender of Battle Galaxy. Yeah, sorry I screwed it up, nerds and geeks. If you didn't understand Nova's backstory, I get all this from Wikipedia, so there you go. Nova appears, this is, by the way, I didn't mention this yet, we're going into like television and video game stuff right now, so for television right now, Nova appears as a background cameo in the Silver Surfer episode Learning Curve Part 1, and in his Richard Rider at least, last known appearance in, last known television appearance, that's what I got. Nova appears in the Superhero Squad episode So Pretty When They Explode, and he was voiced by Jason Marston. So those are the only television shows that Richard Rider has appeared in. But he's in a couple games, not really appears in them though. Nova's voice was featured in an audio log for the New Warriors in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, and he was voiced by Robert Tinkler. Nova appears as a playable character in the Marvel Superhero Squad, the Infinity Gauntlet video game, and he was voiced by Jason Marston. Nova appears as a playable character in the crossover fighting game Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and he's voiced by Troy Baker. The version of the Nova costume as worn by Sam Alexander in the Ultimate Spider-Man series is available as an alternate costume, as well as Richard Quasar in the Kid Nova costumes. Oh, look at that. And the Sam Alexander Nova is a playable character in Marvel Superhero Squad Online, with Richard as an alternative skin. Also, as I've just mentioned numerous times, there's another Nova whose name is Sam Alexander, and this is the Nova that, if you guys have ever seen the Ultimate Spider-Man show on Disney XD, that's that Nova. So the Nova in this game is not the Nova in Ultimate Marvel. The Nova in this game is not the Nova in Ultimate Spider-Man on Disney XD. So now I'm gonna talk about the the interactions, I guess, in the first, in this game, like his character interactions. And the first one we're going to talk about is the pre-dialogue fights and intros, like what he basically says to people when they start off in a fight. So let me look for him real quick. So when he starts off against Strider Hero, he says, "Cute little ninja tricks versus Nova Corps. Come on now." Captain America, he says, "Earth's mightiest heroes." Cheerios. "Earth's mightiest heroes, huh? How limited." Rocket Raccoon, he says, "Sorry, but there's no way I'm losing to an extra from Bambi." Beautiful Joe, he goes, "Really? I mean, really?" Super Scroll, he says, "Act like jerks, your planet gets eaten. It's called karma, dude." And against Mike Hagar, he says, "Geez, steroids much?" Next one are the call names, which is, basically whenever he calls in a partner. These are, I'm only doing like special ones, so he only has a couple special ones. For Captain America, he calls him Cap. Super Scroll, he says Kurt. Iron Man, he says Tony. Deadpool, he calls him Loudmouth, and Phoenix Wright, he calls Mr. Wright. Let me go down a little bit further. The next one we're going to go talking about is the victory pose quotes, and this is what they say when they're when they actually win the fight, basically. Like for instance when Deadpool shakes the screen, stuff like that. The victory little animation thing. I don't know how to describe it that well. I'm sorry. Hopefully you get it. So when he beats Rocket Raccoon, he goes, "I'll tell the other Guardians of the Galaxy that you put up a good fight." I'll lie. Against Beautiful Joe, he says, "Is it me or do we have like the same helmet?" Strider Hero, he says, "If I were you, I'd hide my face too after that." Mike Hagar, he says, "And now you're the mayor of Loserville." Super Scroll, he says, "Next time you might want to change yourself into a decent fighter." And Captain America, which we saw earlier in the night, he says, "Dude, for a living legend, you kind of sucked." Moving on a little bit further now, this is the aftermatch win quotes. They're not spoken, you have to read these ones, so let me find Nova real quick, nerds and geeks. Okay, so his win quotes against them, against Rocket Raccoon, he says, "Sorry little dude, so you're not going to cut my throat in my sleep now," or anything like that, right? Doctor Strange, he says, "Gotta be honest, you always sort of creeped me out, Doc." Super Scrolls, he says, "You Scrolls can change to whatever you want. Doesn't matter, I can still smell you. You reek, dude." Magneto, he said, "There's only room for one bucket head in this galaxy, bro." Captain America, he says, "So, this won't get me thrown out of the Secret Avengers or anything like that, right?" And against Phoenix, he says, "All that stuff you did to the universe with the Phoenix Force? Yeah, not cool." And as we move further down, next we're going to call his assist quotes. And this is basically, I don't know if I have to really explain this, but what he says when he calls out, for assist. So when Nova's calling for assist, he goes, "Help." And when his assist is finished, he says, "Out of here." And his defeat quotes, this is what it basically says when he gets defeated. When he gets beat by a light attack, he goes, "Not cool." And time over, he says, "How about a little overtime?" I believe that's it, actually. No, we have taunt still. So this is his taunts, which I don't think I have to really go into that one for... Really? He has 2 taunts, and he says, "It's not even fair, and I'm like the whole Nova Corps by myself." And that's all Nova says. And we made it perfectly in time, because we're at Galactus. I feel like I was a little off on this episode, Nerds and Geeks, so I do apologize, but while we fight Galactus, I guess I'll go over my feelings about how I feel about Nova being in the game. At first, I really didn't know him, and I wasn't, going to say like, "Oh God, he shouldn't be in the game." It's just I didn't know him that well, so I really wasn't sure what to think about him, honestly. But I think his addition to the game is very well. Especially seeing that Marvel does have plans with Nova. I think they're planning on making a Nova movie at some point, and he's been in the cartoons. I don't know why they decided to go with Richard Rider over Sam Alexander. Don't ask me. But Nova's basically the Marvel's Green Lantern, is what I like to say, because it's pretty much the same. And I like Nova. He's pretty cool. Ever since I've gotten to know him a little bit more, I like him. I think he's a neat character, and I definitely look forward to seeing more out of him. He has basically, to sum it up, I agree with him being put in this game, and I'm glad he was put in it. It introduced me to a cool character. He's not my favorite comic character of all time, but he's found a place in my heart. I like him, and if I ever saw a Nova Corps comic, I might pick it up. So let me explain this to you a little bit. It's kind of funny because these 3 have interacted in the comic book universe, and I chose it kind of as a team space thing. Originally, I was gonna do like Nova and Skrull, but honestly, I mean not Skrull, Nova and Rocket Raccoon teaming up with Zero. But honestly, Zero's not a space person, so I thought Skrull would have been cool, and it makes a little sense because Skrull hates Galactus, so I can see him teaming up with Rocket Raccoon and Nova to take out Galactus. But yep, we won. Man, sometimes I forget how cool it is to be part of the Nova Corps. Defending the universe against threats like Galactus, coming into contact with other worlds, etc. Which reminds me, what's the only thing better than the Nova Corps? The Mega Nova Corps! As you see there, Nerds and Geeks, he's part of a new group called the Mega Nova Corps, and basically everybody in that group besides Nova and another person, which I'll go over in a little bit, is part of the classic Mega Man series. If you look at the image, you can see Roll, Mega Man's sister, classic Mega Man himself, Proto Man, Mega Man's brother, I guess is what you can call him, and Beats, which is a bird-like creature. I don't know what basically it's a bird robot that helps Mega Man out. And also in there you see Zero from the Mega Man X series, who also is in this video game. But Nerds and Geeks, that is the end of this week's edition of the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 playthroughs. I do hope you have enjoyed it. I apologize if I feel like I was off my game, but if I wasn't, then I'm apologizing for no reason. But either way, I hope you've enjoyed this playthrough. I do acknowledge I'm not really good at this game, but I felt like I did a pretty decent job this time around. Either way, though, I'm rambling on for far too long. Let me end it right here. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have, please do me a favor, leave me a like and a comment if you would like, and if you would like to see more of these, please subscribe. It always shows your support towards my channel and shows that people enjoy what I'm doing here. And as always, Nerds and Geeks, I have been OMG WTF LOL FTWBRB, and I will see you next time when we continue on with a Capcom character. So until then, Nerds and Geeks, you guys have yourselves a great day.